For learning target 12, yesterday you filled out these two charts on your notes. Those charts will be provided to you on the quiz because it's different than the red sheet. It's the exact same picture. So you don't memorize it. It'll be given to you. All right, so for the equation of each parabola, find the coordinates of the vertex and the focus and the equations of the directrix and axis of symmetry, then graph the equation. Okay? So, first thing, we're doing this one right here. X squared equals 12 times the quantity y minus 1. Before you just yell something out, think very carefully. Maybe look at your notes. Is this a horizontal or vertical opening parabola? Vertical. All right? If it has an x squared, then it's just like one of your quadratic equations, right? Your quadratic equations last year were x squared, and they opened upwards and downwards, right? So same thing here. Again, there's pictures on here and the equations. It all tells you. But in case you need it spelled out. If it has an x squared, it's going to be opening vertically. If it has a y squared, it's going to open horizontally. There's nothing else besides that. There's only one squared term in each of these. All right, in order to do this, we're going to rewrite this equation. Now, from your note sheet, it tells you the equation should look like this in general form. X minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. That's what the standard form says on your note sheet. So I'm going to rewrite the equation we have to look just like that. Now, if I have x squared, and it's supposed to look like x minus something squared, then what did I subtract? 0. So I should have x minus 0 squared for the first part. Then there's a 12. It's supposed to be 4 times something. So what? 4 times what? 3. So I have 4 times 3. I know that is 0 because it has x squared, and it's supposed to look identical to what I have in the black, right? And then I have y minus k, which is just what I have, y minus 1. So now the equation that I had matches the equation that I'm supposed to have. Everyone okay with why I put it in this format? All right, so then if you keep looking at your notes, it says the vertex is HK. So in this case, what is HK? 0, 1. The next thing in the list says focus. And it says H, comma, K plus P. Well, I know what P is now. That's the whole point I rewrote this. Right? P is 3. So, H is still 0. And then I have 1 plus 3. So what's 1 plus 3? So 0, 4 is my focus. Everyone good so far? Going on the list, the next one we have is the axis of symmetry. I'm going to abbreviate. It takes a long time to write. And it says it's at x equals h. So in this case, that is the equation x equals 0. The last thing is the directrix, which is that y equals k minus p. So in this case, that means y equals so what is 1 minus 3? Negative 2. So it connected. I didn't mean to. K minus p. K is 1 minus 3 -2. Everyone good with that? All those pieces. You should graph all those pieces. So, the vertex is at 0, 1. The focus is at 0, 4. The axis of symmetry is at x equals 0. That is a vertical line. X equals vertical line. So there's your axis of symmetry. And your directrix is y equals -2. That's a horizontal line at -2. I expect to see all these things graphed on a quiz. Then for the parabola, I don't even care for the actual parabola. You guys have done enough stuff with quadratic equations in Algebra 2. I don't even care if you have an exact perfect parabola. You can go back through and substitute numbers in for x if you really want to. I just need to make sure that you know which way it opens. Here's the vertex. The focus is one has to be inside the parabola, so it has to open this way. Yeah. Questions on how I did any of that? Yeah, we're getting there. Any questions? You have to draw it, but it doesn't feel exact. Like it doesn't be exact points or anything. I just want to make sure you know which way it opens. The parabola is an estimate. It's right here. It's in green. It's underneath here. Okay, can I erase all this?
You don't have like, I just have one what is the question you ask?
Just like for every other conic section, you had 2 foci, and that was the definition. Was based on the foci. We have 1 focus in the directrix, and that's based on the definition. Like that is the definition. It's based on those 2 things. All right, we're getting to the next one. Now, if you look at the next one, y squared equals 8x plus 48. I need to get that into this format first, and then I need to put it into standard form. I need to have it so that I have a number and then something in parentheses. So take an 8 out. So if y squared equals 8x plus 6. So is this horizontal or vertical? Horizontal. Again.
Oh my gosh, we just went over that.
Y squared is always horizontal, okay, and x squared is always vertical.
Correct.
Oh.
I feel very low right now. I like to think.
All right, so now I need to rewrite this. It needs to be in the format y minus k squared equals 4p x minus h. So I'm going to have y minus 0 squared equals 4 times what? 2. And then I have x plus 6. Do not change that sign because standard form has a minus sign in it. It's already in the form it's supposed to be. All right, so from here we would find our 4 things. Our vertex is still HK, Be careful on horizontal ones. H is always with X and K is always with Y, so don't write them out of order. The vertex then is at -6, 0. Right? The original standard form equation has a minus sign. Ours has a plus sign, so it must be negative. And again, H is always with X and K is always with Y. The next thing we're going to find is the focus, which is at H plus P comma K. So what is P in this case? 2. So I have -6 plus 2 comma K. So what's -6 plus 2? -4 comma 0. Ever good? We're good? Axis of symmetry is then at Y equals K. So that's Y equals 0. And our directrix is at X equals H minus P. So X equals -6 minus 2, -8. Based on the definition, you need a focus and a directrix in order to have a parabola. All right, so we're going to graph those things. -6, 0 is right there, I think, if I can count. -4, 0 is right here. The axis of symmetry is at Y equals 0. And the directrix is at X equals -8, which is right here. Again, vertex, focus. The focus has to be inside the parabola. Yes. It should open away from the directrix, and the focus should be inside of it. Questions about these two? I've got one more page. All right, so flip to the last page. Last one. Any questions about this before I go to the next page? Not surprising at all. You're going to have some equations that are in general form and not standard form. That hasn't happened multiple times this unit. Now, this time it should be easier because you only have to complete the square one time. There's only one square term. So you complete the square once and you're done. Okay? So, for the first one, is it going to be horizontal or vertical?
X squared.
X squared because it's vertical. So if we're going to write the equation like it's supposed to look like, which it's supposed to look like X, maybe this is not going to work. X minus H squared equals 4P times Y minus K. If we're trying to get it into that format, sorry, my pen is crazy. Then we need to get all of the X's on one side to complete the square, and all the Y's need to be on the other side. Right? So it's a little bit different. They all have been a little bit different. So I have X squared plus 8X. See all the X's together. Then I'm subtracting the Y to the other side. -4Y minus 8. Again, we want it to be in this format. X is going to be on one side, Y is going to be on the other. It's the same equation we've been using. It's the same exact one. Quantity Y minus K. Okay. So I need to complete the square. So what do I use to complete the square? Right, so what number is that? Which is 16. So we add 16 to both sides, like we've been doing. This is not new.
So when we divide by 2, you put it in parentheses. So like,
Still completing the square like we've been doing.
I'm saying like 8 divided by 2.
Yeah, so when we're going to factor. So we're going to get x plus 4 squared. On the other side, negative 8 plus 16 is positive 8, so you have negative 4y. This is the same stuff we've been in the entire unit. Like, it's not any different. I don't know why this is different. Yes, you learned it in Algebra 2. You also have been learning it the past 3 sections. All right. Then again, we still have it to get it into the standard form, so we need to factor some stuff out on the right-hand side. So I need to take a 4 out.
Oh.
So I'm going to take actually take a negative 4 out. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I don't want a negative y. I don't want a negative y, so I'm going to take a negative 4 out. I am trying to write the equation like I've been doing the entire time. I can't have negative y, so we can negative 4 out. And then I just need to rewrite this one more time. Okay, so at the beginning, I wrote down in black what the equation is that we have been using on the other 2 questions. It's the same equation. You have to get it in that format. So in order to do that, the first thing to do is complete the square so you can even get it remotely in standard form. That's what I did. I moved all the y's to the right-hand side. I completed the square, so I added 16 to both sides. You have done that 3 other times this unit. I'm not concerned. If you don't know how to do that, you need to come to tutoring sometime. We can figure it out. It's fine. But that we are past that now. Then you factor. So you get x plus 4 squared, and negative 8 plus 16 is positive 8. So you have negative 4y plus 8. I just combined my terms. Then I need to get it, again, in this format like we did the last 2 questions. So I need to factor a negative 4 out. I can't have a negative y. I'm not allowed. I have to have y. So I take out a negative 4. That leaves y minus 2 in the parentheses. Everyone still with me? I have to rewrite it one more time because I need to know what p is. The 4 has to be positive in the equation. So 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So now I know what p is. Questions? I'm not going to do the rest of this because it's just like the other 2. You'd have to go through and find the vertex, the focus, the directrix, the axis of symmetry. It's the same thing we just did.
That's all this is for, too.
Yes, same thing we just did.
You just told us.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, I'm not going to do the rest of it. You can do the rest of it on your own time if you need to. There's also another one you can practice with if you need to. The vertex is negative 4, 2. Yes. Now, on your homework assignment, p does not have to be an integer. P can be a fraction. That could happen. If you factor out a 2, it has to be 4p something, well then it's 4 times a half to get 2. So you can get fractions. It can happen. Okay? I'm here to help you. That's why you have 25 minutes today to do Learning Chart 12 assignment.